Coop. And go see the garden, get the squirrels. Oh boy, go get the squirrels. Welcome back to my crafty hen house. My name is Elaine, and I'm going to take you out to my garden this beautiful Sunday afternoon. And I moved a few things around, so I'm going to turn you around and show you exactly how I'm trying to get a little bit prepared for the fall growing season. Well, I've done a little condensing and I've tried to get all of my basil, the planted basil and the wild basil and herbs put over on this side. These are my peonies in these two pots. That is a plant called Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow. It has some beautiful three-colored flowers on it. There's purple, lavender, and white. This is a little tea rose that I just purchased, and I decided to put that in this pot. With the summer being so hot, it's really difficult to grow any vegetables. Over here, as you can see, these are some tomato plants. I had grown these from the little suckers that were growing in between a couple of my plants, and I was just doing that as a fun little project and just to see if I could do that, and they're doing pretty good. I know they're not gonna produce anything because it's just so hot. The Notapena peppers have stayed here. I just really dread pulling them out, and I'm still getting a couple here and there. So I want to leave them as long as I possibly can until we can start growing some others. And then on this side, I still have my Italian uh, oregano right there. And these are some basil that I just pulled and stuck on this side. And they were in a pot growing wild. And I'm going to get them on the other side with the other basil. And then, of course, the green peppers. I'm just leaving them there to really suck up anything from the soil that I might be having an issue with. Um, and then I'll pull them as I start my other seedlings. And then the bale of hay, if you remember, I had sweet potatoes and they didn't do too well. So what I did was I went ahead and I planted some, these are sunflowers, and I have some other seedlings sprinkled out throughout the bale, and wait for those to pop up while we're waiting to get our other planters built out. And then this right here is a little blackberry bush that is growing. I actually mistakenly pulled that out of the ground and stuck it in that pot, and it's growing. Then over here on this side, these are actually the sweet potatoes that I pulled out of the bale of hay, and I stuck them in the dirt. It's so hot, it's about 90 degrees here, so we'll get some water on them for the evening. And not too long ago, I had a whole row of huckleberries that were in little planters along the side, and I had planted a couple in this pot, and I also had about 3 or 4 in another pot, and they were not doing too well in the afternoon sun. And I wanted to see what I could do to put them in a permanent location. They actually grow as a nice little bush and sort of like a blueberry, but you can keep them topped and they get wider and thicker. And so let me take you over and show you where I transplanted those. So I brought them all over here on this side of our barn area and planted them in a row. And what good soil I had. I just pulled back all of the rock we had in here for drainage and planted all of the huckleberries. And you can see these are my huckleberries. and they you don't want to pick them when they're green. They need to be like a dusty black color. They're pretty sparse right now, but like I said, I trimmed them way back so that I could give them a chance to really bush out. And I'm actually getting pretty good growth on the bottom section of a lot of these. So I'm really happy with that. And once they really start taking off, then what I'll do is I'll come in and I'll top them again. I didn't want to top them too much and put them into shock. And then over here, I moved my green stalk over here on this little pad. And for the winter season, I plan on putting some lettuces, maybe some radishes in there. We're going to take this pot and plant some of my marigold seeds, and that will go down here at this end. So as you can see, I have been pretty busy out here in my little garden. I'm trying to get everything sectioned off where I'm going to plant for this winter. I will probably do peppers. I have some small organic potatoes inside that are starting to bud out, and I'll bring them out and put them in with the sweet potatoes, see if we can't grow them. I'm also going to get a planter along this side going to the shed, and it'll go the whole length, and that's where I'll put all of my tomato plants and get them out of the pots inside the 5-gallon buckets. So there'll be a nice planter on this side to keep all of my tomatoes. And I'll probably do some more nata pinas. The nata pinas seem to do really well, and they're so delicious, so I really like those. I'll put in some more of those. And then maybe inside the garden where the recycle bins are, I'd like to put in another planter for herbs. So I'm going to do a narrow but taller planter, the full length, and have all of my basil and my mint and get it all in one area. I have things a little scattered here and there just to really get a feel of how I want to set up for the small garden. As I walk away from the garden and come around here to the back, I have a lot of my orchids are doing really well up here in the oak tree by the swing. I'll take you in and show you my bees. They are doing what is called bearding, where they come outside and they kind of make a beard on the bottom of the front entrance of their hive. So they come out and get cool in the afternoon. So they're very busy. And then as we go down this way, I have my blueberries and my blackberries. And I had one little blueberry plant that wasn't doing too well, but it's coming back. I put him in a cage around it and he's coming back. So I like to see those things just do what they may. And I have some of my blackberries doing really well. Not an abundance of them, but there will be. You just have to give things time and give them space, and they'll perform for you. You just can't force them into anything. This is what's called my Queen's wreath. This is so beautiful. They turn really pretty purple. It's called a Queen's wreath. And then of course I have my other little blueberries that I'm trying to nurture, and this is called Texas sage brush. And then my ever-bearing mulberry down on this end, which is going to get topped. I'll walk you down there and show you. It's starting to bud already, and we're in September. So I'll show you some of the buds. Look at this right here. and they'll turn black as well, and then we can eat them. We're also getting a few of our leaf turners in here, which is common. You just have to go around and check and see, that you're not getting too many. And see, we have some here. So it won't be long and this tree will be full of our mulberries. Thank you again for joining me on this little garden tour on a Sunday afternoon. And I hope you all are staying encouraged with your gardens, even though it's so hot out here. Just stay encouraged. Fall's coming. Get your seeds started. And before you know it, it'll be time to put them in the ground. So until next time, thank you again for joining me, and God bless.